I don't think USB-C will be what drives it. But as soon as someone's phone is lost, falls into a toilet, they'll just get a new Apple phone. Yeah, Caffeine, I'm cheering for you on the Apple call. If I was buying anything today, guys, all right, if I was buying anything today, I'd keep a close eye on Nike. I don't think Nike should be down, by the way, to the degree to which they are. Amazon. Deer finally catches some green. Good God, this stock's been beaten to shit. I like it. Cream of some young guy, I'm overall bullish. On the economy, yes. On the market, I'm somewhat indifferent. I think we're in a range. Foot Locker, I do not like at all. Yep, Sammy. Adidas, Nike, and Puma shares drop after Foot Locker warning. Yep, Foot Locker stock tumbles as the company suspends dividend. Yep. Keep this in mind, though. Part of the problem Foot Locker faces is Nike is giving them less product and is trying to sell more direct to consumer. That's why I don't think Nike should be down on Foot Locker. I think Nike caused Foot Locker. You also bought SPY $500 calls for January for 99 cents each. Not bad. Short film. This is a good question. Is AMD an NVIDIA coattail stock? It should not be. It probably is right now. I do not like AMD right now. They will probably moon. That's the truth, but they shouldn't. Reminder, you think all those companies don't want to spend $30,000 to $40,000 per H100 chip from NVIDIA? Fair enough. They are caught waiting for AMD's next chip. The MI300, let me show you the picture because it's super cool looking, is not out yet. All right? You can't buy it yet. This is a super beautiful chip. You can always play the fun game. How many pieces of silicon do you think there are? And people always mix it because there's always one more than that people do not see. This is a beautiful, beautiful chip. I love chip art. This is the potential competitor to NVIDIA. It's sampling in Q4. Sampling. Bobby Cheese asks, what's the best secondary way to play NVIDIA? Just buy TSMC. Someone say money. Regarding TSMC sympathy play, you get it. But how do we say NVIDIA is 6% TSMC revenue? How does this make sense fundamentally? Because TSMC said that the expected growth rate, it would eventually become 15%. So that's the belief. Also, people are going to start to give TSMC some shit on gross margin, even though they're beating expectations on gross margin. They're going to make the comment that they should be charging NVIDIA more. General availability between Q1 and Q2. Yeah. I'm bullish, by the way, on this specific chip. I think it's a really cool product. But man, there is nothing that replaces right now an H100 and the CUDA ecosystem surrounding it for AI development. I have calls and shares on TSMC. My calls are fucking murdered. I have the September 110s. So obviously I need them to move up pretty big. My expectation, though, is that this week should be good for them. This week, particularly with Jackson Hole. We didn't even talk about Jackson Hole. I think Jackson Hole is a great nothing burger. When will I learn? Never. Big Cat Market Maker. You never got your hand on a fully patterned wafer? Oh. Someone said money. What if NVIDIA comes out with a sampling ready H200? Oh, their next chip is not supposed to be out until like the very end of next year. That's my understanding. Huang Gang, do I think the Fed is committed to price stability? Absolutely. I trust them 100% on that one. I do think so. Join you in Burlington calls? Fuck no. I'm in Ulta. I'm not touching Burlington. I'm not touching Burlington. I don't know what the competitive landscape for Burlington is compared to TJX. TJX did really well. Ulta reports tomorrow. Amcor is an interesting sympathy play on packaging. It's a little bit obscure. People don't realize it, but it could be a cool one. No, I sold out of Hasbro, which is a shame. You went puts for Burlington? Really? Is it? I don't know. Yeah. By the way, I like Promo's call out on Lulu. I actually think that's a very smart call out. I don't know if I've ever heard of roving thieves stealing shit from Burlington. A reminder for earnings tonight. It's more than just NVIDIA. You have software companies. Snowflake, Splunk, Autodesk, NetApp, or as Spencer calls them, NutTap. You also have Guess, the company. I'm not making you guys guess. Spencer. Should you buy even more TSMC? No, stay on the sidelines. It's fine. You got time. Hari's playing NVIDIA via TSMC? Yes. I don't like any of these retail companies that are reporting, by the way. Guess, Burlington, technically Dollar Tree. I don't like any of them. How does Burlington compare specifically to Kohl's and to TJX? That's my question. I never realized how big TJX was. TJX is like a $100 billion company. Holy shit. NVIDIA reports at 420. That is not a joke. They report at 420. Thoughts on ACMR? ACM Research. Yeah, someone mentioned this. I have no clue who the fuck these guys are, but they've been going nuts. Yeah, wafer wet cleaning. So I don't have any thoughts on them. Someone mentioned them just last week. It was the first I had heard about them. My issue on semi-caps is I'm a size queen. I'm a size queen. I would rather go bigger is better for semi-caps. So you can buy ACM Research right now at about 13.6 forward PE, no dividend, no buyback, so no capital returns. Or you can get Applied Materials for roughly 18 to 20, 19 times forward PE. Small dividend, always increases, but a big buyback. And I think that bigger is better, bigger is safer. They're mooning. Chad, you said you're pretty sure the Guess in the biggest mall is usually empty. People would rather go to Lulu, Michael Kors. Yes. Mo, TJX is the best of the bunch. Designer brands at a discount plus home goods. Yes. Yes. TJX had one of the better earnings on the retail side that we've seen. TJX did really, really, really well. Let me pull them up for a second. That's that jump from 85 to 90 bucks. Bitches love home goods. Be nice. Sir Rob Stroll, it's ACM Chinese? I do not think so. ACM Research, I believe, is based out of Fremont, California. Home Goods, the store is your new target. Okay. Look, you went to Burlington last December to find a jacket for winter. They didn't have a single men's winter jacket for sale. Wow. Spencer, have you looked at Workday? No. No. That's the tomorrow decision, is it not? Full disclosure, I've implemented Workday software before. I have professional viewpoints on them. Yep, Knox event, 30 minutes for NVIDIA. 30 minutes. 30 minutes until the market decides to fly or die, which is really interesting because it's almost like no one gives a shit about Snowflake, Splunk, or Autodesk. Just a dream. Lulu Bull case is that this chat has only recently learned that men's clothing is actually dope. To that point, I'm going to bitch at you guys for a second. All right, I'm going to bitch at you guys. Ready for it? The point that I would like to make is that I've done DD in the past on Reddit. All right? I have. Where is it? Amazing how I don't think I got nearly enough love for it because I thought it was a pretty good piece of DD, quite frankly. Even though it talked about the mirror, which turned out to be a complete and total bust. Here we go. I did this post, and I guarantee you, I called out one of the bull cases was their expansion into men's apparel. Okay, let's chat for a second. Do you know how I know this shit? Because I read earnings reports, I read annual reports, I read articles, I read. So it's not like I just said out of the fucking, like, corner of my eye, like, hey, I bet you they're going to go into men's clothing. No, they told me. So I put it there in that DD. And you will see in that DD, you would also see by all the logs going around VTAR at the time that I released it, I got shit on by a bunch of dudes who were like, how do you not know Lulu's great for men? Okay? Picture this. This is a subreddit dedicated to steel investors. Hard steel. The material. And they're the ones going, Lulu's incredible for dudes. Yeah. And I got shit on for that. Yeah, the irony is that a lot of Lulu's recent outperformance in the last year and a half has definitely been on their men's side. Yep. Steel workers in their tight ass pants from Lululemon. Uneven Donkey, 420. NVIDIA reports at 420. It's not a joke. We are not memeing on you. They always report at 420. It is fucking hilarious. Mic volume ducks. Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, God bless Lulu for that. Yeah. No, I mean, I have Lulu clothing. I like Lulu. By the way, look at this. Look at this setup here, okay? They didn't even fully fill this previous gap. That was their prior earnings. Quasi-Sim, weren't they late the last two times? Were they late last time? I think they might have been a bit delayed. People were waiting around for it like, where is it? And then it came out and we were all fucking shocked. Like, no one cared once we saw their guide was 11 billion. What's the most real-time place to see the NVIDIA report? Either their investor relations, because that's where they post it, or quite frankly, Twitter's great for that. Uneven Donkey's correct. Forget revenues and EPS print. It's the guidance that matters. That's 100% true. Everyone really thinks this company's beating earnings. By the way, if they miss earnings, that'll be a fucking shock. Yeah, we'll be pretty close to real time too. Everyone's going to be really interested in seeing it. I'm pretty sure I'm holding Ulta till earnings, yes. Uneven Donkey, the Republican debate will be a snooze fest. I will disagree. Come by and watch it. I will be posting, or I will be streaming it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be spicy. Glup Shido, forward PE of 40 to 50. Well, say 45. How about that? So expectation is just to maintain guidance. We don't have what they did not guide for the full year. So no one has NVIDIA's commentary about what next quarter looks like. It's a complete surprise right now. One thing I want to give Intel credit for, Intel is great at investor relations, not treating investors actually well, all right? But they put out an announcement. Intel to quadruple cutting-edge chip packaging capacity by 2025. They're building out not only their U.S. presence in New Mexico, but a facility in Penang, Malaysia. The factory built in Penang will be Intel's first overseas facility for advanced 3D chip packaging. All right? Super cool. They are clearly trying to get their name out there for NVIDIA. At least for NVIDIA investors. Because right now, the reason that you're going to hear the term supply constrained tonight for NVIDIA, they would sell even more if there was enough packaging capacity. NVIDIA is not constrained by the ability to produce 4-nanometer chips. They are constrained by their ability to take 4-nanometer chips and stack them on top of each other and next to each other and wire them. That's why. So insane money. You like how Stacey Raskin appends a lot of his commentary on Intel from CNBC with "if you believe them." It is fucking hilarious. He does that. By the way, have we heard from Stacey today? Stacey Raskin. Was he on today? Apparently not. I assume he'll be on tonight. Short film. Wonder when ARM Holdings goes public. Is it? I don't know. It's supposed to be relatively quickly. It's not going to take a long time. I'm avoiding that one like the plague. Cavitate. Here's the thing. Remember, guys, regardless of what happens tonight or tomorrow, regardless, Jackson Hole is on Friday. Don't break your rules. Do not feel FOMO. I'm not playing NVIDIA. I'm cheering for them. Snowflakes tonight. I'm cheering for them. I'm not playing them. Autodesk is tonight. Autodesk I want to see drop only because at some point I want a longer term position in them. So I'm selfish. All right, but don't go crazy. Don't lose your money. Yeah, last bite talking about Fab 6 in Taiwan, which is the build out of their chip on wafer on substrate capacity. When you see COWOS, it's chip on wafer on substrate. All right? Basically, it's the ability to put chips on top of each other. All right. Which is a very big deal. When you put chips on top of each other, you need signals and electricity to go through at essentially like very close to the atomic level. You have to line it up very carefully. All right, less than a minute to go, and we are 20 cents away from the Bulls winning. Yeah, hot chip on chip action. It's Jenga for semiconductors. It's super cool. All right. Lam Research plays in that space too, by the way. Lam's a cool company. I prefer AMAT for semi-caps. Very thin product. Same tech Lulu uses in their tights. My favorite small cap semiconductor companies right now. Time! Oh dear, it looks like the Bears win. I've got the Bears winning. It was close. It was very close. Let me give you your points. What was the TMO news? I didn't see TMO news. Bears win by 5 cents. Nova Nordisk hired TMO. Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. For the production of Wegovy. Okay, nice. All right, let's keep eyes on Autodesk and NutTap, as Spencer calls them. Autodesk, we've seen a lot of negative stuff, by the way, from channel checks. This is a really cool company. I hope they fall. They may not. They may not. But this is a very cool company from a longer term perspective. I'm just not in a rush to jump into them. Whoa! First move is up. No clue if it's real. Probably not real. Maybe real. Autodesk beat. What's their guide look like? This company has guided down so many times. All right, so Autodesk. Anyone got the numbers? They are significantly up. This is not showing it right about, by the way. I've got them at $218. Autodesk, here we go from Tommy Hayes. Beat consensus, pretty good, 11%, not bad. Bear beat on revenue, but bigger beat on EPS. We got some guidance. NutTap. Beat on EPS, beat on revenue as well. NutTap is a storage provider that works with NVIDIA and others. But yeah, I've got Autodesk up now. I got them at 221. They're up big, yeah. Still looking for guidance. NetApp is barely up. It's up 1.3. They're not moving much. Poor NVIDIA. I wouldn't call them poor. If you can find someone selling you 6.6% CDs, do it. Raises EPS view up. Fiscal year raise. So it looks like Yeah, it looks like Autodesk with beats and raises. It doesn't look like they raised that much. But as long as they're not guiding down, which they've done like the last 2 or 3 earnings. So that's good for them. All right, guys. While all the focus is on NVIDIA, which we still have to wait about 16 minutes, we have an interesting one in the next minute, which is Snowflake. Snowflake will be important. I've heard both good and bad going into this quarter. I think people are very cautiously optimistic on this one. You bet Snowflake moons. Hey, Jesse, how you doing, baby? If Snowflake, the company, does well, Snowflake, the stock, moons. Splunk is also up. They don't matter. Not compared to Snowflake. Snowflake's a bigger deal. All right, let's find out. How does cloud-based database software work? Oh! Up, already up. Hold on. Nope, back down. It's all over the place. The general direction, though, seems to be down. Hold on. Zirconium, I will start at 8:30. Snowflake is bouncing around all over the place. Now it's up. Looks like Oracle midday. Did we ever get a reason why Oracle fell? You sold your Snowflake calls. Well, people appreciate that. Fat Finger. If anyone gets the numbers on Snowflake, I'd love to see them. I want to check out Splunk. Yes, I am going to be streaming the debate tonight. Let's see how that goes. Splunk is up, by the way. Not much. Decent amount. All right, here we go. EPS beat. That's fine. They're just becoming close to profitable. I assume that version of profitable is a very generous interpretation of stock-based compensation. Splunk seems to be the winner. Snowflake is down. Snowflake is down. Snowflake is down. Splunk is up 8%. By the way, there's a weird thing about Snowflake. When you look at revenue, you have to look at what's called product revenue. They have 2 categories of revenue. Apparently, people always get it mixed up. Yeah, nut tap beat. Tim, reminder again, the Fed doesn't care about the market. The Fed cares about inflation. Yeah, it looks like Snowflake beat, but interesting. Is NVIDIA already rising? What the fuck? NVIDIA leak? Shouldn't be. Splunk is up 10%, by the way. 30% year-over-year growth isn't enough. Yeah, the belief is that Snowflake is one of those companies that's been growing 50 to 60% year-over-year. This quarter, their growth was penciled in at like 30%, which was so much lower. %30 isn't enough. Potentially, yeah. I mean, who the fuck's buying NVIDIA right now? Report out. Nielsen plans to incorporate Amazon's data on Thursday night football viewership. Just interesting. Not investable. So it looks like Splunk is raising guidance. Looks like Splunk is what's it called? Raising guidance. Stocky rated some Twitch game dev the other day, and he said that Only Up was making $5 million a month at its peak. Sounds about right. Interfax is now confirming Prigozhin was on that plane. Oof. Almost 300 peeps. Well, people want to come see that moment in video reports, right? All right, guys, let me use the restroom real quick so no one misses the earnings. Okay, folks, we back. Thank you for being patient. All right. Whoa, yes, I washed my hands. Caffeine, thank you for the gift subs. Greatly appreciated, my homie. Thick Slim, thank you very much for the sub. Greatly appreciated as well. All right, it's popcorn time, guys. We've had the appetizers. All right. We had Splunk, who beat. We had Snowflake, who beat. I'm willing to bet something didn't look good. Probably ARR, or annual recurring revenue. All right. We had Autodesk, which finally looked good for once. All right. But now we get ready for the main event tonight. NVIDIA it is. Oh boy. Quick reminder to everybody who doesn't know the story behind this. Last earnings, NVIDIA walked in. Wall Street's expectations for this upcoming quarter between $7 to $7.2 billion in revenue. NVIDIA said, fuck that. We are reporting $11 billion in revenue this quarter. So the revenue number to beat is $11 billion. All right? When evaluating NVIDIA performance, there's only two numbers you need to worry about. Believe it or not, EPS, not that important. What you care about is revenue and gross margin. All right? Those two numbers matter the most. Previously, NVIDIA guided for $11 billion in revenue, 70% gross margin. $11 billion will have been their best quarter in history. 70% gross margin will also be their best quarter in history. These margins are extremely sexy. The hilarious thing is how many people you see on FinTwit and FinReddit evaluate NVIDIA based on sales. Listen, NVIDIA's expensive. We all know that. We all know that. Right? However, NVIDIA does not lose money. Okay? They sell very expensive products at very sexy margins. They have a relatively streamlined organization. They don't give out stock nearly as much as some people seem to think they do. Remember that whole shelf offering NVIDIA had? Back in 2019, they had 2.43 billion shares. Today, they have 2.49 billion shares. They had a $10 billion stock authorization, yet in the year 2022, they bought back $10.5 billion worth of shares. So, Jay, why do they have a shelf offering already ready to go? It's very simple. NVIDIA is actually a smart company. The last time they used a shelf offering was to make a really interesting acquisition of a company called Mellanox, who makes networking equipment. Networking equipment is very good margins right now for NVIDIA. I guarantee you, okay? They are supply constrained right now on the H100. The H100, let me pull it up. This is the chip that matters. If NVIDIA rises or falls, it is based on this fucking chip. The H100 is the multicolored thing in the middle. No, it does not actually look like. That's just artist rendition. All right. The little black chips to the side are HBM, high bandwidth memory. There's about 18 of them. You just can't tell because they're stacked. So in the event NVIDIA ever does have to use their shelf offering, it very likely will be for acquisition purposes. They have a shitload of cash. I believe most recently I saw was $18 billion in cash. But yes, what we are really curious to hear about is what is their guidance moving forward on revenue? How much of the H100 can they sell? The belief is they have the closest thing to, quote, unlimited demand right now. The problem is there is no such thing as unlimited supply. They have to wait. TSMC is rapidly expanding chip on wafer on substrate packaging capacity. Market immediately had jumped, the stock had immediately jumped post-market, but now it's kind of chilled out. This will decide how the Qs do. And reminder, no matter how the Qs do tomorrow, we get our Lord and Savior J-Pow at Jackson Hole on Friday. My belief, Jackson Hole's a nothing burger. He's going to break out his greatest hits. Inflation's still high. Financial conditions must remain restrictive for longer. No rate cuts. Boom. Who can catch NVIDIA? Google, but they won't. If Google spun off their chip division, it'd be an interesting question. The problem is basically everyone wants NVIDIA chips right now because of the CUDA ecosystem. So if you are an AI developer, you're a student, you're a researcher, all right, chances are you've interacted with AI. You've programmed processors through the CUDA architecture. You used CUDA libraries. All right. That's how it worked. All right. At some point in the future, AMD may be effective in creating an alternate software infrastructure that makes you use AMD chips. But that's why you already see now companies like Amazon, who have their own training chips, they are a large customer of NVIDIA H100s right now, because when they're renting them out to other people want to use CUDA. Tesla Dojo, not yet. Not yet. Tesla Dojo is a good training chip for an internal purpose. So a lot of these other chips, Bob, it's for internal applications for people, but there's no like external libraries ecosystem around it. That's really what drives the value. All right, guys, less than a minute to go. Let's see. Results should be out any moment at all. Last time they were a bit late. If their guidance is, say, 14 billion or more next quarter, they should absolutely moon. I don't care what their price is right now. Not moving yet. Jensen's enjoying it. Whoa. See it? $500. 505. 507. No one thought they were going to miss EPS. Correction. No one credible thought they were going to miss. What's the guidance? Here we go. Holy shit. Whoa. 13.5 billion, 71.2% gross margin. Their EPS was $2.70. The expectation was for 207. Goodbye, Bears. What's the guide? What's the guide? By the way, they beat on gaming. No one cares. That's a really impressive. What's the guidance? What's the guidance? People calling it a God candle. What's the guidance? Holy shit, no. Guys, guidance is $16 billion. $16 billion. That thing goes up. That thing goes up. That is fucking hilarious. That is nuts. This quarter, Wall Street was expecting between 7 to 7.2 billion. They said 11 billion. Then they just guided for 16 billion. You'd be shocked at what PE you could give to a company with these margins that keeps growing like this. $16 billion is fucking nuts. SNCI up 3.5%. I assume. Read them out, guys. How is tech doing today? How is tech doing right now? NVIDIA just financed your vacation. Someone say money. Hold on, everybody. Let's take a moment. Someone say money. Who is our resident NVIDIA Super Bull? This man has had a lot more exposure here than anyone else. There we go. $25 billion in buybacks authorized. They're not going to use it. Not yet. Holy shit. You are emotional. You should be. Well played. Yeah. That's fucking... That's insane. All right, Caffeine, you're going to need to tag me in some of the Pirate Bay posts. Remember? All the people who said, oh, well... TSMC didn't report that well. Yeah. Jagol troll. NVIDIA said, fuck your puts. This is, guys, people will call it a bubble. They're going to get proven right. Just not yet. Just not yet. This is ridiculous. of a move. I've got him at 509 right now. And that makes sense. $16 billion. Wendy, the funny thing is, Wendy, you were one of the original people. When you saw their first guide to 11, you're like, they're going to go closer to 20 by the end of the year. And it's funny how you're going to end up right. Rest of the East. Did Nvidia release the... Yes, they did. They did. They absolutely did. This is an insane number. All right, let's see how the Bears are doing. Yeah, $16 billion. The estimate, by the way, for next quarter was 12.5 billion. I heard earlier on yesterday from JP Morgan a hint of 14 billion. They just said 16 billion. Zirconium, it's bullish on this sector, but this is absolutely an Nvidia thing. This is an Nvidia thing. Yeah, Prometheum, this is a cool point out. Buy side was way more bullish than the sell side numbers, and they destroyed the buy side. Galloping Conch, who was it last quarter that saw the 11 guide and thought this means they do 13? I did. I didn't say 13 though. I said 12.5 to 12. Meta likes it. I assume the vast majority of tech companies like it. All right, V-Bears, how y'all doing today? Hold on. That's just disgusting numbers. Imagine Jensen Sam. He literally sandbags all the time, though. That's the thing. Tim points out correctly, those deliveries are 90 days out. Yeah, not only that, they're going to be non-cancelable, non-refundable. Spencer says they need a split. Watch, they'll announce that next quarter. Backlog is huge. There was a sign, by the way, when Nvidia put out a statement basically when people were talking about increased restrictions on their chips to China. Nicolette Kress, their CFO, came out with a statement that basically said, in the short term, it will have no impact, meaning they already had enough customers they could move it to. By the way, what was their guide on margin? That's what I want to see. What was their guide on margin? Because they pulled 71.2%. That's a big, big number. Companies didn't pay in full for products. Interesting. Nvidia's outlook. Here we go. Thank you, Tommy Hayes. So gross margin is expected to be 72.5. God damn. Rest of the East, that's a good CFO, unlike Amazon CFO. I know what you're talking about, yeah. Find you someone who loves you as much as Amazon CFO hates their own company, right? Yeah, record data center company, that's important. That's important, necessary shallot. Remember, NVIDIA did not do this by selling to crypto miners or gamers. This is all data center sales. Geez, for data centers, they were looking at 90% up. Now you can afford Seattle pizza. Oh boy. And caffeine's already shitting on bears. I respect it. Stacy Raskin goes, and here we go. Dylan Patel. This is the one of the better analysts. I'm going to say number one. I'll also say Stacy Raskin is. Dylan Patel's response was, holy fuck. Ravi, who also follows this space, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Hey, Jesus. First time chat. Hello, Jesus. Hello, Jay. It's me, Jesus. What happened? NVIDIA, their guide for next quarter is $16 billion. Apparently, expectation was roughly 12.5. Is this Tesla too? No. No. It's its own bubble. It's its own bubble. The problem with Tesla is there's always going to be a ton of competition for Tesla. There's not as much competition right now in the data center GPU space. There really isn't. Not yet. Not yet. Bronze Legend is correct. So they're going to hit 18 billion next quarter, at least 17. He is a sandbagger. All right. Why would anyone short NVIDIA? You'd be surprised how many people thought that Jensen's a pump and dumper. He was just giving guidance he knows he can't make. Fucking printed. Joy Toki. Jesus asking what happened and people telling him NVIDIA popped off is so funny. He missed 2023. He missed 2023 years and we're telling about NVIDIA. Yep. Look at TSMC. TSMC should be up. Get fucked. Good. They deserve this. For anyone who talks about NVIDIA being expensive, TSMC is 15 times forward PE. China's not invading Taiwan. Just saying. Wendy says, which really means they're doing 20 billion the following quarter. See, Wendy knows this shit. NVIDIA Corp says new computing era has begun. Prometheum's calling out probably mid to high 30s on forward PE right now for NVIDIA. Yep. SMCI going higher? Yep. Dare I ask about Qualcomm? That's a good question. If Qualcomm's up, it's just because chips are moving up. No, they're actually down. People are selling it to buy more AI. Long term, by the way, Qualcomm and Apple are going to be future AI winners because all these chips that are really good at training models, you have to deploy the models. You'll need hardware a little closer to the user. Cell phones. Yeah, Qualcomm's an asshole. I look at GES. Who's GES? Yes. Holy shit. They did well. Rest of the East. Something says NVIDIA results were leaked. No. I don't. What we saw specifically, and I called it out before the earnings release, is that all the analysts started moving expectations up and price targets up. It's because they were doing their jobs and finding out behind the scenes on the supply chain. So they clearly knew NVIDIA was going to be beating. Yeah, Qualcomm have been the biggest assholes. By the way, there was a separate report. There's two reports, one of which is the Nuvia cores are not getting good reviews on early releases. Supposedly the information's embargoed. Don't know how true that is. The other piece that was interesting was that there was a some kind of presentation given with the CFO of Qualcomm who's talking about inventory normalizing over in China, which could be a very important thing for Qualcomm. Anyway, Brain Embolus, you missed the release. What's their guidance? Next quarter, 72.5% gross margin, $16 billion in revenue. So NVIDIA's a buy at these prices. Here's the thing. Long-term, NVIDIA is an incredibly good company. If you buy NVIDIA, you're going to see the stock drop at some point by 50%. That's how it works. For the next year or so, this company is going to print so much goddamn money. All right? It's going to print everything. And then all of a sudden, orders will slow down, inventory will build up. All right? Their sales will drop, their stock price will drop, and then the cycle begins anew. That's how it works. Snowflake is up 10%. Something Snowflake said, I assume they were on the call, must have done well. Then it is, does that apply to AMD? AMD does not have their MI300 out yet. We have to wait. All right, guys. Before we wrap up the stream, quick programming note. Tonight is the start of the Republican debates. I am going to stream it tonight. All right? I'm going to stream it tonight. All right? I will encourage everyone to bring your alcohol. All right? We're going to have fun. All right? If you are wondering, wait, but if you have a political opinion, that's fine. This is more like ESPN of politics. We are going to appreciate the sports. You can love both teams. You can hate both teams. You can love one team. That's fine. I'm calling it down the middle. I will warn you guys in advance, though. Chat will be heavily restricted. Not because of you guys. I know you guys are smart. But just because I want to be cautious of anyone coming by who we don't necessarily know. Bees Dad, you don't think you can handle the brain melt of watching that shit show. My brother in Christ. That is why you bring alcohol. Because without it, I couldn't handle it either. Yes, but I will be on at 8:30. I will give you the pregame show for debates. I will tell you what to look out for. Who's the up-and-comers? We are going to have a good time. All right? And if you don't know shit about politics, good news. You don't need to. We're going to have fun. All right? My goal is when you stop watching the debate tonight, you're not pissed off. You may not think very highly of our political system, but at least you're not enraged. But aren't we streaming it to get the additional shit show chat, or are you alone there? Oh, don't worry. There'll be something there. Stream Perfection. Good luck at your baseball game, by the way. Yep, you're going to record it. Yeah. I'm interested to see how it actually does. I'm really... This is going to be the first time for some of these people up on a big stage like this. America gets to know them. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyway. Happy NVIDIA Day for all who celebrate. If you were long in this market, you celebrated. Now let me see. Who should I raid? Who should I raid? Can you please mic up Gopher, Justy, and Lube? Lube them? I'm going to lube them up. All right, let's pick on trading stocks. This looks like a nice guy. All right. I'm not going to pick a titty streamer. Sorry, a hot tub streamer. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I will catch you guys later on tonight, hopefully. Bring your alcohol. Peace, guys. You bet his name is Trey? I would assume so as well. Anyway, bye.